Here's a strategy session on support and resistance. A good trader is like a Boy Scout. He's always prepared. And how do you get prepared for trading over not just today, but over the next couple of days, few days, maybe the next couple of weeks? Start paying attention to slower time frames, like 1 hour time frames, and watch to see where your support and resistance lines can be set up for use later. For example, on the 13th on GJ, there was some pretty strong downtrending going on. As it got towards the bottom of the trading range for that day, you'd see an hour, a 1 hour chart here. You'd see an hour long bounce here, here, and here. So, good idea here is now that you've kind of seen that it's bottomed out, right? You can kind of tell that it's bottomed out here because of the sideways consolidation, and it's the middle of the night here. So the next day, other things are probably going to happen, right? So it's a good idea then to go ahead and to mark out these areas of resistance, right? So the idea here is that resistance on the way up should equal support. I'm sorry, resistance on the way down should equal support on the way back up. So when price reverses and starts climbing again, you can go back to these areas and use them as support areas for the climb on the way back up. Okay, so that's why it's called a pivot, because it's going to be doing the opposite thing on the way back up. So let's see what we've got here as far as support on the way back up. So I'm going to take these off right now because I won't talk about these till a little bit later. And now let's do that on a little bit faster time frame chart. Okay. So as you can see here, there was economic news on Thursday, which sent GJ up quite a bit from 179.07 to 179.900, 180. So that happened in the course of about 15 minutes. Okay. There really was nowhere to get in on that. It just shot straight up. But now that we've cleared this one already, so we can just take that one off. Now, what happened when we got to this one? What happened when we got to this one is we kind of broke through, we back tested a little bit, and we continued up. So this one is showing us that it's a reaction. Okay. When it got to this one, okay, it definitely hit resistance and started pulling back. Okay. So you can see very clearly that. Let's go ahead and back this up a little bit. There's the bounce. Okay, you can see very clearly that it's resisting right on the money, right on the penny. And now you're starting to get some red 15-minute candles. Yeah, it's wicking all over the place. Sure, that's because it's a key area. And people don't know what the hell to do. They don't know where to sell, to break through a breakout, sell it. It's a lot of confusion. You see wicks going every which way, a lot of confusion, okay? So we get one more, okay, red candle. These are 15-minute candles. And then what do we see? We see a green candle forming just above the line, okay? And if you want to kind of get it a little bit more, since you're trading on a 15, you can move this to the top of the 15 here and the top of the 15 here, okay? But this is telling you resistance is now possibly support. And the other thing that shows you that this is maybe a bullish area to be buying is this huge candle here. Now we've had one probe, now we've had yet another probe, okay, probing up. And usually by the time you see a green probe, the next candle typically is good. So the other thing that is good is that this is the 15-minute 8 EMA, a very, very, very powerful supportive EMA line. Okay, so that is also very strong. So you've got pivot support, you've got EMA support, You've got a very strong initial candle. Here's your wave pattern. Pull back, finding support on the pivot and the 8 EMA, and then of course you're off to the races. Okay, there's some good buy strength there, and it just goes higher and higher. So that's a really nice entry right there. So what else happens here? Let's go back to the 1 hour. Okay. So as we progress up on the 1 hour, we get another. Go ahead and get rid of these. We get another one right there. Okay. So now we're seeing resistance, right? So we're trying to, I mean, now we're seeing support because we're on the way up, right? So we're going to mark support on the way up because, as I said before, you're looking for the opposite on the way back down. So let's check and make sure we mark these support levels on the way up, okay, so that we can use them for resistance on the way back down. Because trading is basically just a game of ping pong. Price goes up, price goes down, price goes up, price goes down, bouncing off support and resistance levels. But how do we know when we've got, you know, the right kind of place to be on the chart? We need to really look at the bigger picture and see where is price holding and where is price folding. If we go back to the 1 hour and look for a substantial, significant point back here, we're going to see this one. This is a very substantial resistance area, right? Sometimes resistance does become resistance in the form of a double top. So I expect that's what's happening right here. We've hit this area here. This resistance became support temporarily here on the way down. So that makes sense that that would be there. And now looks like we've really hit some major resistance here in the form of that line. So maybe we're going to go back down. And if we do, maybe we can use these 1 hour levels as resistance. Okay, another thing to know about this day, there's going to be news at 8:30 a.m. So we need to keep our eyes very watchful of that. And at 9 o'clock, which is the first top of the hour, 1 hour point, you know, if we're set up at a resistance point from one of these prior 1 hour levels, we might have a very nice trade on our hands. That's something to keep in mind. So let's go back to the 15 again and kind of watch and see what's going on as we zoom in a little. Okay. What is happening right here at this gold line? We've got a dragonfly doji after a huge move down. Dragonfly doji sometimes represents reversal. Let's see what happens. Yes, we got a reversal there. Okay, nice little reversal. Okay, now we're coming up again, and we get a huge push down from the London session open. Okay, so London session open at 3 o'clock in the morning it's all sellers, right? Where does it go? Right around that resistance level, right? And what happens? It breaks through, but it's still kind of held and it pushed back up. Okay, so temporarily held, pushed back up. Use this level also as support on the way back up. Now it's 6 o'clock in the morning in New York. Maybe you're just turning on your screen. Maybe you're not turning on your screen for another hour. You're going to wait for that news at 8:30. And come 8:30, we've already had another push down through that level. So that's very bearish. That's the second time we pushed down through that level. Okay. And there is your 8:30 news. Okay. So now you want to really start paying attention because as you can see, the level of volume here for the 8:30 news hasn't been that high since yesterday morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Okay, so this very low volume for London session compared to the New York session. So that's the 8:30 news right there. What's happening? Well, bigger picture, we're downtrending, right? We've got lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We've got news at 8:30, which is sort of holding under that 200 period moving average. And guess what we just got right here? A dragonfly doji, okay? Just like this dragonfly doji represented a reversal above the line. Now we've broken through that line substantially twice. Both of these pivots, actually, this one and this one. And now what do we have? We have a dragonfly doji right here on very big volume, right on the line, okay? Remember what I said, support on the way up, resistance on the way down, okay? But let's say we're not much of a gambler and we want to wait for the next candle, the next couple candles, all right? What would it take to convince you that it's time to go short? Maybe a very strong candle, 15-minute candle, right off that level. Doesn't that look like a reversal to you? I mean, it does to me. So, where are we at here? We've got a 15-minute pivot here. Maybe we want to mark that one. And then we've got that 1 hour pivot down here, right? So let's go ahead and put on a short position with a stop above the swing, most recent swing high. And let's target the bottom of the range. I expected to get some resistance here, but it's only a 15-minute pivot. It's not a 1 hour pivot, right? So let's take a look and see what we can do here. So we're short here at 180.67 with a stop at 181.11. And let's just see how it goes. Right away, we're moving down. We're moving down very strongly. Okay, we're bouncing around a little bit at that level. It's encountering some resistance there. We've got a double top against the 8 EMA. It's bouncing back up again. And that's it. So that 15-minute level actually was the right target to hit. Okay? So as soon as you saw that it was just going flatline there, that's a good time to get out. Okay? So that is the lesson for today. Use pivots on the way up as resistance. Use support pivots on the way up as resistance pivots on the way down. Use the 1 hour pivots for the major moves. And if you've got news at 8:30 right here, wait for the top of the hour for the next pivot. If you see dragonfly dojis, very often they are reversal symbols, especially if they happen right at a fast cross of the 8 over the 20. In this case, on the 1 hour, switching back and forth here, you got a dragonfly, dragonfly doji here, and you know that's you're trading 1 hour and 15-minute charts is what you're doing. The dragonfly doji represents the reversal area. This confirmed it. This 15-minute candle confirmed the reversal, and this 15-minute pivot was your target area. Okay, so find the levels on the 1 hour, trade the trades on the 15-minute, and use your pivots as support and resistance and entries and targets. This trade, by the way, from pivot to pivot was a 1.55. If you had a little bit more conservative a little more. If you use your 15-minute candle as your stop, the top of your 15-minute candle as your stop, then it was a 2.75. That's it.